I'm sorry, Mr. Burnham. We're going to have to check your briefcase.
Didn't I tell you clowns that today's Saturday?
Good morning.
Sir, if you would just...
Ah, what's the use here? Keep it. Compliments of Herman Burnham. Your boss will probably think I stole it from him anyway.
We'll have to have your identification badge also.
I can't give you anything but love, baby. Have a nice day.
No. No, I don't care what it costs. I can't lose those proxies.
Joey's here.
Hello, Joey.
Hello, boss. Here's your mail.
Thank you, Joey.
Have a nice day.
I can't believe this. I mean, you're destroying the magic. We're so close to being finished.
Close, you are finished. I've got the proxies. I am taking over the company, bringing it back to reality before you or my brother bankrupts it. Now, here's a bulletin. It's over.
No, it's not over. Joey's world is my life, and I'm not letting you throw it away.
Hello, John Gordon. Here's the mail for the lab.
Thank you, Joey 3.
Have a nice day. I love you, John Gordon. I can't give you anything but baby. Hello, beautiful. Joey's here.
I wish you'd stop doing that.
I have a special delivery for your boss.
Go right in.
I can't give you anything but love, baby.
No, by tomorrow. Right.
Joey's here. Have a nice day. I can't give you anything but love.
The last 2 weeks, Murray had been screaming at Houston about spending too much time on his detective agency and none on his empire. So today, Houston promised Murray they'd spend the whole day catching up on a logjam of paperwork. But what Houston didn't know was that 2 hours ago, Murray's entire life had been turned upside down.
Houston, thank God you're here. There's not a moment to spare.
Well, now, slow down, Murray. We got all day. I specifically set this whole day aside to read all that needs reading, sign all that needs signing, and generally exec everything that needs exec.
No, you can't.
What do you mean I can't?
Houston, I want to hire you as a detective.
You want a what?
Well, you heard him.
It's an important case. And I have to warn you, should you decide to accept this assignment, it could be dangerous. But Houston, I think you're the man for the job.
Well, thank you, Murray. Why don't we talk about this inside?
In a way, of course, it's your fault. You might keep that in mind when we discuss your fee.
We'll consider it kept in mind, Murray. Now, what's your problem?
You know I'm one of the trustees for the Meadowood Children's Home.
Oh, I remember when you volunteered to help and you invested some money for them. Hoyt Electronics, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, because John Gordon Boyd had just signed on to head Hoyt Electronics' video division. It was Houston who showed me the newspaper article. It was his suggestion, in a way.
Well, Murray, I don't give stock tips, but I do know who John Gordon Boyd is. The man's a genius, and everybody around him is going to make buckets of money.
Unless he's arrested for murder.
You want to pass that one by me once again?
Willie Hoyt, vice president and co-owner of Hoyt Electronics, was murdered less than 2 hours ago. Now, the information I have is sketchy, but John Gordon Boyd seems to be a prime suspect.
Well, is there any reason why they suspect him more than anybody else?
It was his robot who did the killing.
His robot, as in mechanical creature?
But of course, Houston, those people at the orphanage trusted me, and now their investment. Please, you've got to help me.
Murray, you got me. I'll do the best I can.
Mean you'll do it?
Mm-hmm.
You'll take the case?
That's what I just said.
So what are we standing around here for? Come on. We got a case to solve, cowboy.
Well, Murray, I'd like to finish
Let's shake a leg, Houston.
coffee. Yes, sir.
A few years ago, when Houston met John Gordon Boyd, he was, and still is, one of the world's few authentic 200 IQs. Still in his teens, he became a legend of the video game industry and the creative backbone of Hoyt Electronics.
There's John Gordon. Now tell me, does that look like the face of a killer?
Murray, have you ever heard of Babyface Nelson?
You're a pretty boy, Floyd.
Billy the Kid, and I'm sorry I asked.
Gee, I couldn't believe my ears when Murray called and said you were coming out.
Well, he said you might be in a little bit of trouble, so we decided to wander out. Listen, this is C.J. Parsons. She's my top lawyer and a good person to have around.
I know what to say. I mean, all you being out here. Nobody's ever gone to bat for me before.
Have you ever been in trouble before?
Hello. Please get out of the car, gentlemen. Ma'am?
What's this?
All callers' cars must be searched upon entering or leaving the premises.
Well...
In addition, I need you to wear these identifying badges on your person in plain sight at all times.
Oh, look, please wear the badge. I'd even be stopped if I wasn't wearing one.
Houston, the video game business is a multi-billion-dollar business, but it's a competition of ideas. First one with a Pong or a Pac-Man wins all the marbles.
Mm-hmm. Murray's right. And the industrial theft of ideas is a major problem, so obviously the security has to be intense.
While you're on the premises of Hoyt Electronics, you will not stray from restricted areas.
I'll orient them.
Listen, I'll just pull my car around.
No, look, they'll have to park your car. More rules.
Listen, what happened out here this morning?
Well, Willie Hoyt called a meeting to discuss Joey's World.
Oh, Murray mentioned that. Now, what exactly is Joey's World?
It's the ultimate video game.
It's going to be life-size, Houston. It's incredible. You have to see it to believe it.
Anyway, at the meeting, Willie Hoyt said he was going to take control of the company and cancel Joey's World. I don't know. I'm afraid I threatened him.
Yeah, well, don't worry. The man wasn't threatened to death. He was shot to death. Well, why don't we take a look around, huh?
Right? Whoa!
Why did you shoot him? What am I doing? Do you believe this? I'm a grown man with a wife and 4 kids. I'm supposed to be taking fishing, and I'm here interrogating a tin can.
Don't handle him like that.
It's only a toy.
Robots are not toys. They're changing our world. They're doing the jobs that we don't want to do.
Really? What job didn't you want to do?
John Gordon, why don't you and I talk privately as your possible lawyer?
Don't you see? I mean, Joey 3 delivers mail, but I could adjust him to Arkwell car bodies or dispose of toxic waste in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, how about firing a gun? How long would that take you to rig?
The possibilities are infinite.
Keep that in mind.
CJ, why don't you take John Gordon for a little walk?
Great idea. John Gordon, why don't you and I take a little walk?
I'll catch up with you in a minute.
Spooky kid.
Well, Vince, he's a dreamer. I mean, he sees things a little differently than most of us. How's this little fella work?
You just talk to him. He's got some kind of voice programming or something. It sounds complicated, but it isn't. Anybody can give him instructions by inserting a tape cassette.
Anyone, huh? What's your name?
Joey, what's yours?
Got Matt Houston, I'm a friend of John Gordon's.
John Gordon's a nut, but I love him anyway.
Why'd you kill Willie Hoyt?
Want to try a rubber hose?
Come on, Vance. Feeling okay, Joey?
All systems are go.
How long you worked here, Joey?
I was born here.
Well, listen, have you got any idea who put that gun in your hand?
Why didn't he answer?
I don't think he knows. A robot can only respond with information that's been programmed into him.
So, in other words, he's got no memory of the murder because that information's not on the tape that's inside of it.
That's right.
So how'd he fire the gun?
That's a very good question, Vance.
John Gordon would like Mr. Houston to meet him in Joey's World.
Well, lead the way. Another one.
It's okay, Riley. He's with me. John Gordon asked that you go downstairs, Mr. Houston.
Oh, sure.
Oh.
All right, you go now.
Houston? John Gordon may have a 200 IQ, but Alice in Wonderland and Tinkerbell have nothing on him.
All right, you go now.
Oh, I tell you, this looks like fun.
I knew you'd like it. Isn't it wonderful?
It's certainly, I mean, it's more than I expected. This is really terrific.
Children all over the world will actually get to live out their fantasies and get inside.
Inside the video game.
Uh-huh, exactly. And this is only the working model to get out the kinks. There's going to be a waterfall and an outer space part with a rocket ride. It's going to cover acres. Take all day.
Yeah, listen, I want to take a look in here.
Oh, no, that's impossible. A total breach of security.
Yeah, well, the ladies just went in there.
They work here. They're secretaries during the week. On the weekends, there are test players.
So these girls have been cleared by security?
Oh, completely.
Yeah, well, what am I, chopped coyote meat? I mean, I'm a pretty trustworthy guy.
Look, I'm sorry, Mr. Houston. I know you're trying to help me, but I just can't. I guess it is kind of unfair to have you come all the way down here and just get to see the outside. I'll tell you what. If you promise not to say anything to anybody, I'll let you watch for a while, okay?
Oh, mum's the word.
Yeah, Scout's honor across my heart.
All right, come on, let's go. All right, put your hand right there. Go ahead.
A blonde and brunette, so pretty to see. But now that we've trapped you, you'll never get free. By golly, by gosh, it's time for your wine!
You lose, Miss Stevenson. See, it's just like a video game. When Joey shoots you, you're out. I think I've let you see enough. Joey 5, why don't you go back inside and join the fun?
Oh, boy,
So, tell me something, John Gordon. How do these robots know where to aim their blast of water?
Now, that's what took me the longest time to develop. It's a homing device in the badges that the girls are wearing. The same way that Joey knew to come right to you and bring you down here.
Oh, I see. So it's because of my badge that he knows that I'm me.
Uh-huh. Because I programmed him to know that.
Does that mean that the robot who killed Willie Hoyt was programmed to kill him because of his badge?
Probably.
Yeah, well, who else in this company knows how to program those things?
Practically anybody that worked on the project. You see, designing the homing device was the hard part. I tried to make the programming of the Joes as simple as possible. To tell you the truth, I kind of hope that one day every kid can have his own Joey.
That's a good idea. I tell you, I wish I would have had one of those things when I was a kid. I mean, it's great. Yeah.
Question is, who programmed Joey to kill Willie Hoyt? The answer is any one of the four following people. They were all in the area of security before or during the time of the killing. Here you have John Gordon Boyd, Hoyt's creative genius.
Yeah, when John Gordon Boyd was showing off Joey's World to us, I tell you, I saw something in his eyes, and it was a little funny. It was almost fanatic-like. Yeah, who's next?
Next, we have Richard Hoyt, the dead man's older brother. Apparently, the two brothers built the company up together, but young Willie objected to the money being used to develop Joey's World. So he and a couple of the other shareholders were about to take over the company.
Uh-huh. So Richard was on his way out. Yeah, well, people have been known to kill for less.
You bet. Now, here we have Herman Burnham, the owner of Burnham Electronics and Hoyt's #1 competition.
Yeah, I know him. He tried to get me into a business deal one time.
Well, from the tone of your voice, it doesn't sound like it was a barrel of laughs.
Yeah, about as much fun as finding a diamondback rattler in your boot. CJ, that man's a crook. From what I hear, he left Hoyt Electronics just 5 minutes before the murder.
And last but not least, we have the deceased secretary, Miss Glynis Duran. She's single, impeccable credentials. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with her, CJ.
That figures. It's a little expensive for a secretary, doesn't it?
Sure does. Duran! Duran! CJ, I'm getting a funny feeling.
I know what you mean.
Better check upstairs. Mr. Duran!
This one's for the police, Houston.
You might be right.
Look at this. Blueprints. Now, CJ, would you look at here? These were taken out of Joey's world.
Certainly were. What did she want, besides your best side?
Hey! Stop doing that.
Good idea.
She hadn't done that.
Do you recognize him?
Yeah, it's Hoyt Electronics' chief rival and my favorite crook, Burnham. Is Mr. Burnham home?
How would you like to have your head stuffed through your collar?
Well, no. Yeah, I mean, not really. Listen, yeah, if I could you... Yeah, listen, now, and you really don't understand this. See, I'm just a passing motorist. And I was going by, I saw Mr. Burnham's name on the mailbox and thought he might like to know that his car's on fire. Oh, it's a big fire. I think you better take a look at that.
Houston, what are you doing here? As far as you're concerned, I'm in South America.
No, you're not, Herman. Especially since you took the photos out of Miss Duran's house. You see, where I come from, they call that breaking and entering.
Only if the lady presses charges.
Yeah, wait a minute. Would you explain that for me?
What I meant was I met Glynis at the Hoyt place, and she seemed like a nice lady, that's all.
I get it now. Yeah, you bribed her to spy for you.
So what? I mean, Hoyt stole from me, too. That's part of my business. You don't think so? Look at this. It's his Joey's World, my Marvin's Maze. Two guys working on the same idea at the same time. Now, did he steal the idea from me? Who knows?
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about honor among you two thieves. I'm talking about murder. You remember Willie Hoyt. Yes, he was murdered.
Now, why would I do that?
Because you're a greedy man. And I know that there are billions involved in this electronic video game business. And who comes first at it? Now, why don't you just tell me why you were at Hoyt Industries this morning?
I had a meeting with Richard Hoyt. Like Marvin's Maze, Joey's World is incredibly expensive to develop. So Richard wanted to bring me in as a partner, so we worked together. That way, maybe neither one of us would go broke.
Yeah, but Willie didn't want that. No, sir, he wanted to see Joey's World go down the tubes all the way. And I tell you something, that gives you a very good reason for wanting him dead.
That's true, but I didn't do it.
Blueprints? Photos of her boss. What's it mean?
Who are you and what are you doing in my house?
Well, I'm C.J. Parson, and Matlock Houston had dropped by earlier to talk to you.
How dare you? I'm calling the police.
Well, you don't have to do that, because I've already done it. But there are a few things we would like to discuss.
Oh, you would you?
Miss Durand, we can gather a great deal from those photographs, but...
Get out.
Well, you don't have to get riled up. We just want to ask you a few questions.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Novelli. I'd like to talk to you, too.
Do you have a warrant?
Why would I need a warrant? I was told this place was burglarized.
You were told wrong. Now I'd like you both to leave.
We do need to discuss those photographs.
Photography is my hobby. Any other questions?
I guess not.
Now, why would she ask for a warrant?
The lady asks good questions.
What lady?
Hi, Houston.
Hello there.
Well, this is it. This is where we're gonna build Joey's World. Isn't this wonderful?
Well, this is really nice.
Do you think when Walt Disney was a little boy, that he could see Disneyland, even without knowing exactly what it would be? That he could actually see all those wonderful things, what they would be someday?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I've always seen Joey's World. Why don't you just stop digging, Houston? I mean, just go away. Look, in a couple of days, the police will get tired, and that'll be that. Because I'll tell you, I just can't take the upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But I tell you something, the police are not just going to give up and go away until they find a killer, and I'm not either. You know what I mean? Mr. Hoyt, my name's Matt Houston.
Yes, I know. John Gordon told me about you.
Listen, I hate to bother you any more than I have to, but you see, my client's got a very big interest in Hoyt Industries, and while I've been looking into the death of your brother, I'm afraid I uncovered an industrial spy in your company.
A spy? Who?
Well, I'm afraid it's your brother's secretary, Glennis Duran.
I'm stunned. Do you think she or Burnham could be the one behind the killing?
Oh, you see, that's all very possible, but, yeah, let me remind you again now, this whole spy business is strictly for my client's interest. Now, it's very possible it could have been either one of them. For that matter, it might be John Gordon. As far as that goes, it might very possibly be you. But we'll keep in touch. CJ, I'll tell you what really bothers me, and that's that the cowboy code says that you cannot hit a smaller man. But I'll tell you something, in John Gordon Boyd's case, I'm about to make an exception.
Well, you don't know for sure that he broke your brake line.
Oh, come on, CJ, who else was there?
Well, you don't know for sure that anybody broke your brake line. You could have kicked up a rock and broken it yourself.
If I may make a suggestion?
Oh, come on, a rock? Oh, my Aunt Millie's armadillo.
Time is running out. And I beg to remind you that John Gordon Boyd is our client. The orphans are depending on him. Therefore, wouldn't it be more constructive to direct your investigation elsewhere? Couldn't you make the murderer one of the other suspects?
Maybe you can hit a smaller man if he's smarter than you.
Now, Richard told me not to talk with you, Houston.
Yeah, well, Richard does not count right now. John Gordon, you are going to talk to me whether you like it or not.
Goodbye, Houston.
You just hold up.
What do you do? This is ridiculous. You're wasting your time.
Now, John Gordon, you are going to talk to me.
What's going on? Wait a
I'm going to find a baseball
What
bat.
are you doing? This is ridiculous. Will you let me down?
A piñata. John Gordon, you are going to talk to me.
All right, what do you want to know?
Well, first, I want to know why Richard told you not to talk to me.
Because you might find me guilty.
Well, are you guilty? I mean, did you kill Willie Hoyt?
Of course not. Look, Richard said with all your poking around, who knows what results you might come up with.
Hopefully the right ones. That's what I'm looking for. Now, Willie Hoyt was not the only one you did a number on. Now, why'd you try to kill me?
What are you talking about?
My brake line. You cut my brake line out on the hillside. Now, Hoyt and yourself were the only ones there, and I talked to him till I left. Now, it had to be you.
I don't know anything about your brake line. Why didn't you ask Burnham?
Burnham?
Yeah, he was supposed to meet us out there, too.
Well, now, if you tell me Miss Glennis Duran was supposed to show up out there, I'd just figure it was a nice big family picnic.
She was there. Didn't you see her?
No, but maybe I should.
Oh, don't worry about it, Houston. Joey, will you please?
Immediately, John Gordon. What should we do to Mr. Houston?
See, Houston? My Joey's can do lots of things. You know, that really wasn't very nice of you to hang me up there. Not very nice at all.
Should we make him inoperative? We can dismantle him. We're waiting, John Gordon. We're waiting, John Gordon.
I'll talk to you later. Well, you're an industrious lady working on Sunday.
I'm cleaning out my office. I have been fired thanks to your meddling.
Oh, now, come on. You can't be angry at me for finding out you were spying for Burnham. I mean, that's my job.
You wouldn't understand. Anyway, it doesn't matter now that Willie's gone.
Willie? You called him Willie, not Mr. Hoyt?
What's the matter, Mr. Houston? Don't I look the part? That's right. I was Willie's lady. No one knew it. Now it doesn't matter if they know.
So you loved him, huh?
More than I could tell you.
I'll tell you something, it's easy to say that you loved somebody, but I mean, really, here you are stealing all of his secrets and selling them to Burnham. I mean, unless he wanted you to steal those secrets and sell them to Burnham. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, because he would have done anything to keep Joey's world from getting off the ground. And Burnham double-crossed him, went in partners with Willie's brother. Just to finish up Joey's world.
When Willie found out, he said he'd kill Burnham.
Yeah, unless Burnham got to him first. CJ, listen, get Holden the belly and tell him to meet me over at Burnham's. If I'm not mistaken, that man has just become our #1 candidate for killer.
Will do.
Right.
Bye.
You again? How do you keep getting past my man?
Well, you see, it's survival instincts. You see, I have this reverence for life, especially my own. You really ought to have the same reverence, Mr. Burnham.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'll tell you something. It's really quite simple. You can... Oh, now wait, listen. I'm just having a little chat with your boss here.
Call the police! Don't shoot! I didn't kill him! Don't shoot, please! I didn't kill him.
What are you doing with a gun in your hand?
I came to talk to Burnham. I heard shots. Look, I always carry a gun for my own protection.
Well, until we find out whether that gun shot Burnham, we're gonna have to take you in, Mr. Hoyt.
But
Hello.
Hi. I'm here to see John Gordon Boyd.
Yes, please wear this badge in plain sight at all times and check in with the guard inside.
You bet. Hello? Hello? Guard? Oh, scared me. What happened to...
You're to follow me.
I think I'll come back another time.
John Gordon's at Joey's World. I'm supposed to take you and Mr. Houston there.
Well, Mr. Houston isn't here right now, but I have an idea. I'll go get him, and...
Please, I'm supposed to give you something. Ow!
It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me.
Murray? Murray, I didn't know you played the piano.
I got a little story I want you to know.
I didn't know you drank either.
My friend.
Must be that kind of night, huh? I think I'll join you.
Of a brief episode.
Listen, Murray, I can't tell you what a mess this whole thing is in. I mean, it's got me all mixed up. Now, I could have sworn it was John Gordon Boyd, and I could have sworn it was Burnham. But then here comes Richard Hoyt, bigger and alive, standing there with a gun in his hand. The only trouble is that gun wasn't smoking, Mouser. You see, he pulls up to Burnham's house, hears shots, gets scared, reaches in his glove box, grabs a gun, but he never fires it. The events in his lab proved that, and it just messed everything up. So who killed Hoyt? Who killed Burnham?
Want you to know.
Where's CJ?
My baby. I want more for the road.
Murray, what are all these documents here? Murray, that's the mortgage to your house.
For the... Mr. Matlock. All those poor little orphans out in the snow.
Murray, it doesn't snow here.
The children's home. They trusted me. They depended on me.
So you're gonna mortgage your house just to bail them out, huh?
They trusted me, Matlock. And tomorrow, the stock is gonna fall out of bed right down the old drain, and the orphans right along with him. You didn't solve the case. I don't blame you. It's not your fault. It's mine. Where's CJ?
I'll just ask you that, Murray.
Oh. That's right. She got a phone call. It sounded urgent. Meet John Gordon Boyd at the factory.
Well, it's a little late at night, isn't it?
John Gordon Boyd's secretary called. It sounded urgent.
Murray, John Gordon Boyd does not have a secretary.
CJ!
If you're looking for CJ, don't search high and low. Joey's World is the place to go.
Who's your voice today, Joey? Who sent you to fetch me?
Follow me if you want CJ alive.
You get me to CJ. This isn't funny anymore, Joey.
CJ! CJ!
Go in, Matt Houston, and be our guest. A life or death game is always the best.
CJ, where are you?
I don't know where I am.
Pick the right door and begin your trip. But you won't save CJ if you make one slip. One thought should now be in your head. Game or not, one mistake and you're dead.
Houston! Houston, stay out!
CJ, are you all right?
Houston, she'll kill you.
She meaning Glennis Durand? Yeah, it had to be her all along.
She's crazy as a loon.
Yeah, well, she loved Willie Hoyt. Usually when a woman kills a man she loves, it's because of another woman.
Houston, some of the pictures we found in her apartment show photographs of Willie with another woman. We solved the reason for murder, but we didn't even think about it. Like Burnham. Now she has to kill us, too.
Joey here. I missed you this time, but I won't miss again.
CJ, she's not gonna kill anybody else.
Houston!
I'm still here, CJ. Now you just hang on a minute.
Two joys are better than one. Double the pleasure, double the grind. Whoa! Welcome to our dungeon. The fun has just begun. Be careful where you walk now, or you'll be overrun. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Joey's here.
Houston!
CJ, I'll get you out of there.
Houston! Behind you!
You seem to have a lot of luck, but soon you'll be a dead duck. Fall and doom go hand in hand. Your fate is now at our command. Death waits behind a door or two. Joey's got a surprise for you.
You haven't caught me yet. Oh, no, I'm not gonna do that. Oh!
Well, when the stock market opened on Monday, Hoyt Electronics stock was as solid as ever. With the arrest of Glynis, John Gordon was cleared, and soon, his dream of Joey's World would be a reality.
Listen, thank you.
Now, Houston, you scratch your John Hancock on this one, and we're done. Murray, good to see you. You'll be thrilled to know that we're all through with our work. Murray?
Maybe I found him like this, you see. I tell you, he looks like a fish that's been on the creek bank for several days. Are you feeling any better, Murray?
Houston, that brandy. I will never, never, never drink again. I swear to you, I will never touch another drop. What's this? Someone's got the same name I do.
It's not the same name, Murray. It's for you.
Yeah, listen, Murray. Maybe you shouldn't look at that right now. I mean, there's a better time.
It's a bill from you.
Well, Murray, you did hire Houston, so we thought we ought to itemize things a bit for you.
Murray, hold on. Just
a deal's a deal.
Listen, Murray. It's just a joke. The whole thing's a joke.
A joke.
Better cock your pistols.
Thank you. Hello, Tabby. Hello, my little darling. How are you? Little hors d'oeuvre, huh? Here we go. Beautiful for you. Tabby, come back here. Come back here. Tabby, I've got something for you, Tabby. Come on, Tabby. Here we go. I know where you are. Come on. Tabby.
say. If the best things in life are free, how come everyone's always squabbling over the money? And boy, were the squabbles out today.
I know, but if you tell me how much...
What's going on in there?
They've been there an hour. Sir, I just have a couple of papers for you to sign. It's nothing important. May I, sir?
Oh, help yourself, Murray. Listen, I don't believe I've ever seen you take a drink before.
Oh, just at weddings. Wakes.
Murray, what is going on in there?
Would you excuse me just a minute?
How long are you going to be? Girls,
CJ, what'd you get me into?
Well, now, Houston, you're a man who's fascinated by intriguing cases. Well, this one's a dilly. Do you remember reading in yesterday's paper about the death of that cat food millionaire?
Well, who could forget? I mean, right in the middle of Beverly Hills, a man gets mauled to death by his favorite tiger.
Yes, William, folks call him Felix Randolph. One of the richest men in America, married 4 times, divorced 4 times.
You mean that's what's out there right now?
You got it. Wives 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, my heart, be still.
Can we get this show on the road? We have been waiting long enough. Who's this, your gardener?
Matlock Houston. May I present the first Mrs. Randolph, presently known as Mrs. Lauren Calder, Matlock Houston.
Well, you will have to do. Now, we have a problem. One of us murdered Felix, and we want to hire you to find out who.
Can we hurry up? I have to go.
Zizi Tabori, wife number 2.
I have a very important date with my masseur.
Did she say murder?
Don't be shocked if we don't seem grief-stricken, Mr. Houston. You see, Felix was the world's nastiest man.
To know him was to hate him.
This is one thing we all agree on.
Except for me. I loved him.
Oh, brother.
Say hello to number 4.
Hi.
I did. For a little while.
The acting lessons are beginning to pay off. Of course, the wringing hands clutched to the bosom may be a little too much.
At least I have a bosom to clutch.
Now.
Ladies, please.
It's a miracle of modern medicine.
Don't give away secrets, girls. Gravity gets us all in the end.
You're right, darling. We followed you in.
Darling.
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 Zizi.
Ladies, just hold your horses for a minute. CJ, please.
Well, Felix Randolph had a will. Now, in that will, he insisted someone was trying to murder him.
That's the word I heard.
One of his ex-wives. Now, obviously, he didn't want the murderer to profit from his death, so...
None of us gets a nickel until the guilty one is found. Until then, all the money goes to the support of his cats.
$70 million.
You see, Felix was one of those lovely husbands who played cat and mouse, the rat.
So, we need you to find out which one of them, or us,
You.
killed him, and then to settle the will.
To tell the truth, Mr. Houston, we all need the money.
Ladies, I'll tell you what. We'll take a look at all the details
right,
in
we'll
the
go,
will and its provisions. Right.
Would you hurry it up, cowboy? Because as Miss Goody Two-Shoes said, we all need the bucks.
Right.
That's the first nice thing you've ever said.
I have to see you. Alone. I have to see you.
All right.
Look, I think I can help you solve this case.
Bye-bye. CJ, I want to have a word with you.
You bet.
You know, CJ, 4 ex-wives and a whole bunch of big cats is not exactly my style.
Well, I know, Houston, but if it'll make you feel any better, he didn't do too well himself. Now, here you have Felix Randolph, famous cat food millionaire, owned the largest private reserve of cats in the world, not to mention 4 big cats who just left your office.
Yeah, I guess you could call them the fearless feline foursome.
Yes, you could. Good.
You could.
Apparently, all parties got what they deserved because the word vanity, that's Felix. He took 4 or 5 showers a day, loved to splash himself with cologne. Ironically enough, it's called Crown Jaguar.
CJ, the man ran a private zoo. He must have known the danger that's involved with that. Now, why do the police think it's murder?
Apparently, Novelli had a conversation with this young man, Buddy Young. He tends to the animals. He's a very simple kid, but he's very sweet. And he insists that all the big cats are kept under lock and key all the time.
It means the killer cat had to be let out of the cage.
So it seems.
Yeah.
Houston, where are you going?
Well, I'm going to go out to Felix's Beverly Hills cat farm, see what I can find out. Now, meanwhile, you dig up what you can on the ex-wives. If we're lucky, we'll find out that they all did it.
Anybody home?
No way now. Pasha? Bad boy? Back in your house. Good. It's okay now. I'm sorry. I let him out when I was washing the cage. I think you scared him. That's why he growled.
In fact. Is this the tiger that killed Felix Randolph?
They're gonna take him away. They're gonna put him to sleep. Pasha's a good tiger. He's pretty old, though, but he doesn't see so well anymore. He used to let Mr. Felix pet him.
Mr. Randolph used to pet this tiger?
A long time ago. Maybe tigers forget. They're not like elephants.
Well, hello, Vince.
Hello, Houston. What are you doing out here?
Well, some folks asked me to look into this.
Hello, Lieutenant Novelli.
Hi, buddy. Listen, son, we're going to ask you to come along with us.
Where?
Down to the station. We want to talk to you down there about Mr. Randolph and how he was killed.
But I told you already. What's the matter?
Gently.
Vince, what's going on here?
Buddy, I have to arrest you for the murder of Mr. Randolph.
Me?
Put him in the car and read him his rights.
I don't believe this.
I didn't do it. I wouldn't hurt nobody. Who's gonna water the animals?
For crying out loud, Vince, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, don't make me feel any worse than I already do.
I kid knows no more about murder than a hog knows about a buggy whip. Now, why don't you tell me what's going on?
Give me a better suspect. Nothing would make me happier.
I believe I'll do that.
By morning, we dug up the personal histories on Felix's ex-wives. The info on Ava, his last wife, was short and to the point. Felix had gone to Las Vegas on a toot and had tooted just a bit too much, waking up in a hotel room with a hangover and a new bride formerly fourth from the right on the chorus line.
Hello? Anybody home? No.
That girl's hurting.
No. Listen.
Oh, Mr. Houston. Come on in. We'll continue later. I'm so glad you've come. I just heard the good news. They arrested the guilty man. Isn't that wonderful? I mean, it isn't wonderful, that poor, simple boy. But at least now we get to go ahead and collect our inheritances.
Well, I wouldn't get too excited about that just yet, because I'm not real satisfied that the poor, simple boy is guilty.
What? But... not satisfied?
No.
I mean, the police are.
Police have the boy's head on a chopping block, but they haven't chopped it off yet. Now, you told me you wanted to talk to me at the office. Something about helping me solve this case?
Well, that was before Buddy was arrested. I thought I knew who did it. I thought it was Lauren. Lauren Calder, his first wife. She really hated him.
Is that right?
She was supposed to get some kind of a loan from him for something to do with her company, Crown Jaguar.
Crown Jaguar Cologne?
That's part of it. It's a whole cosmetics company. She started it after her divorce from Felix.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he used to wear this Crown Jaguar Cologne all the time, right?
Of course. He only did it to drive us other wives crazy. He always played one against the other.
Oh, now, back to the loan. Did she get it?
Felix promised it to her, and then he didn't give it to her. He did things like that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
She went through the roof. She threatened him. He told me. And she's tough. I really think she'd... If any of us did it, it was her.
Well, that's interesting. That's real interesting. First, we got the poor, simple boy that did it. Then we got wife number one that did it. Now, why don't you let me ask you a question? Why didn't you do it? I'm sorry. That's right. I forgot. You're the one that loved him. Happy trails.
Are you making fun of me?
I don't do that to people.
Look, you didn't know Felix. He toyed with people. He played games with them. This whole thing with the will, it's just a cruel game to keep the money from us. This is just like him.
Well, you're the one that keeps insisting that you loved him.
He said he'd put me in the movies. He gave me singing lessons and dancing lessons and acting lessons, and then he laughed at me when I showed him what I could do. I'm glad he's dead. He deserved to die.
Did you kill him?
You're leaving. And don't you come back here. And don't you upset her ever again.
It's okay, John. Mr. Houston, this is John, my physical culturist and executive producer.
Executive producer.
Well, he'll be my executive producer when we make the film, after we get the money from the estate to make the film.
Just goes to show you that talent will out, huh? Bye now.
Yeah, CJ, just checking up on you. Listen, did you get Buddy bailed out of jail yet?
About 2 hours ago, we took him right back to the estate.
Tell him. Tell him. Tell him how much.
That's Murray saying hello.
$200,000 bail! What's that?
That's Murray sending his regards, Houston.
Oh, you straightened that hem. Good. That looks pretty. All right, thank you. You all look very nice. Tell Alfred we may do some stills today.
You will confine your meeting to the time Miss Calder allows.
You're very protective of your boss, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Why, Mr. Houston, perhaps you're just in time to give us a man's point of view.
Well, I believe they all ought to get a 10.
The perfume they're wearing. You have a nose for scents?
Well, I'm willing to learn.
Well, would you mind? Give us your opinion as to whether or not the fragrance fits the occasion. For instance, game time, our little beachwear girl over there, and on the end, the evening dress.
Well, I'm willing to give it a whirl. Game time, huh? You seem like the athletic type.
I'm a real good sport.
I'll bet you are. Something you knitted in your spare time? Tell me something. What happens when it hits the water?
When you get it wet, it shrinks.
Evening. Oh, boy, what a nice way to end the day.
Perfume, Mr. Houston.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. It all seems to match up fine. I like it a lot.
Thank you. You report to photography.
555-2200.
I understand you've been seeing an awful lot of your ex-husband lately. Something to do with money?
It's no secret. Larger companies been trying to take me over. I could have stopped them in their tracks if he'd co-signed a loan, but he strung me along and then pulled out at the last minute. Now I'm in a proxy fight and I'm in danger of losing my own company.
Well, I would imagine a company like this would take a lot of years of a person's life, huh?
It is my life, and Mr. Houston, make no mistake about it. I intend to keep it. I will do anything to keep it. Now, if anybody had a reason to kill Felix, I did. I married Felix when I was 16. Oh, he was no millionaire then. He was a butcher's helper. I collected the scraps and ground them into cat food, and I went out and peddled to the housewives, and I made the deals, and I built that fortune the same as he did.
And you needed a loan from him, right?
$20 million just till the end of the month. Instead, he'd let me sink and laughed at me all the while.
Well, now that he's dead, you'll inherit at least that much, won't you?
Houston, I built 2 fortunes. Do you really think I'd kill him to get out of a jam? No, I didn't kill him. But I dedicate a statue to the one who did.
Who might the statue look like?
Darling, can't you guess?
I see.
Mr. Houston was just leaving.
Oh, that's my favorite suit. Thank you.
Bart, something I want you to attend to.
Yes, ma'am.
Why would Buddy try to kill me when I put up his bail? I just can't believe it. I can't believe what he did.
Lieutenant, you gotta get out an APB. A 10-4, whatever you call it. You gotta get men out there, cops and cars.
Murray, we don't need to send out the Marines.
Oh, sure. Joke about it. But we put up the bail money. $200,000. That kid ran off with $200,000 of your money.
Murray, don't get ahead of yourself. Nobody runs off until they don't show up in court.
Every minute we're talking, that kid's running. Our money is getting further away. I can't make them understand.
Murray!
Our money...
Would you get me some coffee, please?
Sure.
No, not this kind. You know the kind I love. The kind I drink at the Oiler games.
You want me to go to Houston to buy you a cup of coffee?
Right.
You're kidding.
Right. Murray, I'm feeling kind of low.
Gotcha.
Houston, I appreciate you've got a big heart. But I told you were playing with fire when you bailed that kid out.
Vince, I can't see him in jail.
Well, where is he now? And Murray was right about one thing. I gotta put an all-points bulletin out on that kid.
Oh, come on now, Vince. That's getting a little dangerous. I mean, we're not dealing with Jack the Ripper here.
I know. Houston, he tried to kill you.
You can't put him in custody, Vince. The boy does not communicate very well. I'm afraid he's going to do the wrong thing.
I gotta put out an APB. I'll add a caution.
That kid had to know I was trying to help him.
He probably went back to the estate. From everything you've told me about him, he isn't very comfortable outside the world he knows.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's got to be an explanation for what he did. Now, what are the possibilities?
Somebody put him up to it.
Or he's trying to cover for somebody. Whatever it is, that's what we got to find out.
Obviously.
Felix's third wife was the ultimate mating machine, the gold-digging, jet-setting, mind-boggling Zizi Tabori. It was a wild ride while it lasted. Today, she runs the Aphrodite Health Farm.
I know who you are. You're Matt Houston.
Right.
I know what this is about, and I don't want you upsetting her. It's about that filthy ex-husband of hers. If you want to lay that on someone, lay it on one of the other wives. You understand?
Yeah, I understand. Now, listen, I hate talking to myself.
Or you'll have to deal with me. Get it?
Loud and clear.
I want to be sure we understand each other. I hate to get rough.
I just want to ask her a couple of questions, if it's all right with you.
She's in there.
Thanks.
Oh, remember what I said about getting rough?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to chance that.
Karate!
Hello, darling. All right, boys, stop it a moment. I was expecting you.
So I understand.
What can I do for you?
Well, just the obvious.
You think that I killed Felix and that I would profit from his death. Well, of course I would. I'm mortgaged to the hilt. If this goes on much longer, I will have to dismiss all these wonderful bosseurs of mine. Don't worry, my darlings. I'd rather walk the street than let you go. But thank God, the simple boy done the job for me. By the way, do you know that the simple boy only takes orders from his mother?
You mean Buddy? I don't believe I met his mother.
Well, we really don't know who his mother is. He's an orphan. But the lady he calls his mother is Felix's third wife. We call her the Saint. You see, she had an orphanage years ago. And that's where the simple boy was raised. And that's where he learned how to treat wild animals. That's why he was on the estate.
Well, thank you. I think.
Everybody out? Now stay together, please.
Here's Ahern.
Mr. Houston, well, what brings you down here?
Well, I tried to get you at the house, and they told me I'd run into you out here. See, I'd kind of like to talk to you about Buddy.
Buddy?
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's true, but you see, there's some people that say Buddy would kill for you. Is that right?
That's a terrible thing to say.
Well, I know that, but do you think he would?
I should have killed Felix. You know that? He's hurt everybody he's ever touched. He even wanted to pull the plug on the children's home. End it all. Just like that. Of course, he owned the land. And I don't have any other money. Not real money. Not what it would take.
Listen, did Buddy know that?
I guess so. When I'd go over to the house, he'd hear the screaming. Me begging Felix, him laughing, and me cursing him.
Listen, do you know where he is?
Buddy?
Yeah.
Well, the police asked that same question.
Listen, you got to talk to me. I care an awful lot about Buddy, and I'm just trying to help him. Can you tell me where he is?
Well, there are only a couple of places he'd go. The estate, of course, with animals. In the home. And he used to come here to play miniature golf. But he doesn't have any friends, and he can play miniature golf alone.
Buddy! Hang on a minute, I want to talk to you. Buddy!
Sorry.
Here, give me that rope, Bert.
are they trying to kill, buddy? You or me?
I wouldn't hurt nobody, especially not Mr. Houston. I would never have crashed you. I promise. Just scare you off.
Why, buddy?
I know about Mr. Felix's will. You don't think so, but I know. How Mr. Houston was supposed to see if one of Mr. Felix's wives was a murderer.
Tell me something. Why would that make you want to scare me?
Because they told me on the phone.
Who told you?
I don't know, but they told me. You want to blame it on my mother.
Was it a man's voice?
A woman's voice.
I don't remember.
Buddy, this is a murder case. Are you aware of the fact that you are still under indictment and we are trying very hard to clear you?
Oh, it's all right. A jury won't convict me.
Buddy, do you know something we don't know? Why won't a jury convict you?
Because I didn't do it.
Hey! Hey! What are you doing? Oh, Margarita, this isn't the pine forest. This is a piece of Italy. When you smell the cheese, you know. When you smell the oil, you know. The smell here is part of everything. Via con...
Mama, come here.
Hey, what's that for?
It's because I owe you one, Mama.
Oh, I love it. So owe me again?
How's that?
I'll tell you after you tip me again. Simpaticone.
You know, tips like that can starve a girl.
Hey! You got your diet, I got mine. Victor?
Listen, Vince, I think I got it. I think I've got it. It's been haunting me all the time. Tell me something. How do you train a house pet, whether it's a tiger or not, to be a killer?
That's easy. The 3 S's.
Right. Sight, sound, and smell. Go on, buddy. Tell him.
If you beat a dog, he's gonna hate you on sight. If you blow a whistle, every time you take his food away, he's gonna hate that sound.
And the 3rd S is smell.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you can train an animal by a certain smell. Ah.
Now, you remember the coroner's report? The strong smell of cologne.
Now, buddy, this is the bottle of Crown Jaguar cologne that we took off Felix's dressing table.
Yes.
And this is the stuff that he wore all the time, all day long, every day.
He always wore it.
He wore this stuff when he used to pet and feed the tiger, right?
He always wore the same thing.
All right, let's try something, buddy. Follow that on there. CJ. Now, that is the bottle that we found on Felix's body the morning he was killed. That's the bottle. Advance. Oh, look at that. Makes a difference, doesn't it? Now, that bottle has been tampered with, and I think it's going to tell us who killed Felix. CJ, I want you to get on the horn, call the 4 ex-wives, and get them out here as soon as possible.
Get them here voluntarily? You gonna sell tickets?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I reckon you all know why you're here.
Here comes the Charlie Chan scene.
Charlie who?
Yeah, well, it is sort of like that. You see, I figure in order to catch the killer, I got to get all my suspects right here in one spot.
Marvelous, darling. You expect one of us just to jump up and confess?
Well, not exactly like that, no.
Well, I can hardly wait to see how you're going to do this.
Me too. Now, let's talk about some facts here, folks. Now, all of you had a very good reason for wanting Felix dead. You built up his business in a day and age where the little woman was supposed to stay at home and give him all the credit, not to mention all the money. And when you went to him for a loan, small loan of $20 million to keep your new business afloat, he just kind of smiled and walked away.
Man was right in character.
Yeah, yes, he was. And you needed a loan to save your school and the orphans. And just for fun, he said no.
He was a real sweetheart.
Yes, he was. You two, you're mortgaged to the hilt. Huh. Now, you have an alternative lifestyle, and you just want to be a star and cut a new record.
I'm 22, for crying out loud. I don't have a lot of time left.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about that. But anyway, folks, that's it. All the motives are right here. Now, you all had very good access to this place.
Access for what reason?
To fix it so the tiger could kill Felix.
Listen, darling, you beautiful thing. Did it ever occur to you, police genius, that maybe it was an accident? Maybe the gate was left open. And maybe it was that simple boy.
No!
Oh, well, I don't think so. See, I believe it was murder.
Oh, my God, that's Pasha! Don't run. Move away slowly. He'll attack.
How did it get loose? I don't see why guys are so afraid of Pasha. It's just a great big pussycat.
Past tense, darling. Have you forgotten that Pasha ate Felix for breakfast a few days ago?
Wonderful for him.
ZZ, maybe you could tell me something. Have you ever heard of the phrase programmed to kill?
Programmed? What are you talking about?
Well, I tell you, it's called teaching an old tiger new tricks, and I believe that was your job, wasn't it, Richard?
Job?
Well, you see, while ZZ was keeping Felix busy up there in the house, you were training that tiger to hate your special brew perfume. Hated enough to kill anybody that was wearing it.
Darling, beautiful thing. You have no proof.
Well, then you wouldn't mind if I just gave you a little spritz of Felix's cologne, huh? Well, I think that about does it. Buddy, come on out of there, buddy.
Why didn't Pasha kill me?
Well, I'll tell you, that's because this isn't really the death bottle. It's down at police headquarters where it belongs. This is just an ordinary bottle right off the shelf.
Stupid me. And you even more stupid.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, you got it, gentlemen. It's all yours.
Karate!
Come here.
Oh!
Look, this is pointless. I don't want to hurt you at all right? Vince, come on now. Let's get this thing over with, okay?
Didn't you call him?
He's supposed to be here right now. Vince! Vince!
Karate!
Tiger.
The old point to the tiger trick, huh?
Works every time.
But, Mr. Houston, all this should be receipted.
I will get the names and addresses and issue checks.
Murray, checks take forever. You see, the people who sell popcorn and handle the boat rides in this world all have bills to pay right now. Just pay them what I owe them from yesterday.
If you insist.
Yes, I do. I insist. Now, also, you tell them that the orphan kids have got a free running tab at their places until this runs out. And when it does, tell them they can come back for more.
Sir, these are $100 bills.
Right. Good night, Murray.
Good night, sir.
Cheers. You know what's so terrific about working with you, Houston?
What's that?
Everything. Just think what you've accomplished in the last couple of days. Buddy and Pasha have both been reprieved from their death sentences.
Yeah, not to mention the ex-wives got all her money.
And St. Audrey got that palatial estate, which is a perfect place for her to expand her orphan home facilities.
Don't forget about Lauren. She's a cinch to win her proxy fight.
And if the cover variety is correct, little Ava's about to make her very own movie.
Oh, boy. Let's not forget Zizi. I think it's going to be an awful long time before she gets another massage.
I suspect you're right. Now, if you and Vince Novelli can only synchronize your watches when it comes to trapping a killer.
Oh, either that or just always have Tiger with us, huh? Or maybe not.
Better cock your pistols.
CJ, how do I look?
Houston, for the 47th time, you look wonderful.
Are you sure?
Houston, I realize that you haven't seen her since you were 13 and you want to make a good impression.
Well, I want to make a great impression, CJ. I mean, that's why it's so important that it'll look good.
Well, Murray thinks you look great. The secretaries think you look great. The parking attendant that you asked thinks you look great. Trust me when I tell you, she'll think you look great.
Are you sure?
CJ, do you think I'm going to be all right on the boat and all?
Houston, you're the one who's been saying that seasickness is a question of mind over matter.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking about that boat. I'm rocking back and forth in the hot sun.
Houston, the boat's going to be docked. You won't feel any motion at all inside the marina. Come on.
You know, CJ, it's just, see, I haven't seen Honey in a whole bunch of years, and I'd hate to do anything to embarrass her. CJ, listen, take a look at this. What do you think?
I hope you have a wonderful time. Just go on up, get a drink, and make yourself at home.
Thank you, dear.
Boy.
Wholesome wench. Would share a tot of rum with a weary corsair.
Oh, no, thank you, Binky. I'm working, remember.
Oh, for God's sake, honey, don't be so boringly conscientious.
Well, it's very important to me that this party goes well.
How could it not? You're the best manager the club's ever had.
Thank you, Binky. But I'm afraid not everyone shares your opinion.
Rawson, Harmon, the four. Huh.
If he has his way, someone else will be sitting in my office.
Now, honey, there are others of us on the board. Don't you worry about him. Well, Richard, I'm surprised to see you made it.
Believe me, I wouldn't have missed this one for anything.
Dickie, darling, is he a producer too?
No, baby. Binky here spends money. I make it. Binky, I want you to meet the next Bo Derricks, Andrea and Dorian.
Charmed, I'm sure.
They're going to be starring in my new picture, Savage Women Unleashed. Growl for the man, Andrea.
Growl.
I love talent.
I'll tell you, if I was back home and it was a hot day, I'd tell you what I'd go for, and that's a big, tall glass.
Of your mother's own ice-cold buttermilk. Houston! Houston, look at you, all grown up. Oh, honey, if I'd known you're going to turn out like this, I'd spend a lot more time with you.
Certainly would have filled an awful lot of lonely 13-year-old nights. This is C.J. Parsons.
Lewis,
Hi, CJ.
time to get this thing started.
Right away, Mr. Harden.
This is a private party, mister. Members only.
This is Matt Houston, the detective I told you I was going to call.
The hired help usually goes to the business office. See that you do in the future.
I'm sorry, Houston.
No need to apologize for other people's rudeness, honey. Tell me something. You mean you looked me up after all these years just because you needed a detective?
Lewis!
I'm sorry. Here's why. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could get your attention, please. We're gathered here today to honor the newly elected Commodore of the Southland Yacht Club.
Thank
This is either somebody's idea of a very bad joke or Honey's in real trouble.
I shall accept this honor.
Guilty, 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 the avenging angels say. With justice swift like a serpent's fang, the first will die on a sunny day. Wonderful.
And to present him with his official Commodore's coat.
Does it bother you that it's a sunny day today?
It's a snake! Ah!
He's dead.
Got yourself one deadly snake with the Gaboon Viper. According to experts, still had enough poison to take out a few more people.
Vince, where did it come from?
Africa, originally. More recently, the zoo. Stolen just before dawn this morning.
Whoever it was didn't leave much time to tuck the snake in the Commodore's coat.
This time there's a crazy need. I got a feeling that whoever wrote that Looney Tune letter would manage to make time. Houston, are you all right?
It's your swaying back and forth, Vince.
I'm not swaying.
Mr. Houston.
Yeah?
This is Lewis, the club manager. Should like to see you inside. Hey, you feeling okay?
Well, it's nothing that planting my feet on a little terra firma won't take care of.
Hey, Houston, ask her to stick around. I'm gonna need to talk to her when I'm finished here.
I hear the snake that offed old Harmon was from Africa.
That's right.
Far out.
You find African snakes amusing?
Well, I guess you'd say, just righteously just. Heck, I could tell you. You're just a PI, another working stiff. The dead guy, Rawson Harmon IV, he was a bourgeois pig. Fact is, most members around here are...
Yeah, listen, that's all very interesting, but I'll tell you, as one member of the oppressed proletariat to another, what the hell's it got to do with an African snake?
That's where he made most of his money, Africa. Made a fortune in diamond mines. Squeezing out of the sweat and lives of the oppressed workers. That's why I smiled. I mean, it just seems a little ironic after all those years of grinding people into the ground in Africa. Somebody from the ground in Africa killed him. We'll find Mrs. Lewis inside.
Do you get the impression he's been to one too many radical campus meetings?
Mm-hmm. Well, what bothers me is how do you know about the African snake? We didn't even know about that till Novelli told us.
No, Novelli didn't know about it till the zoo people told him.
Yeah, and that kid wasn't close enough to either the zoo people or Novelli to have heard anything about it.
Honey?
Houston, would you like something to drink?
Not for me, thank you.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's been a busy day, but I would like to sit down.
Okay. Would you like some coffee?
Well, that'd be good.
Gary, 3 coffees, please. When I first called you was when I received that threatening note. I thought you could help.
Well, I'll tell you, the death of Rawson Harmon IV is now a police matter, unless I had a client, which I don't.
You do have a client. That is, if you'll take me. You see, Houston, I'm afraid the police are going to think I killed Harmon. We weren't exactly good friends.
Well, not getting along isn't exactly a classic motive for murder.
He was going to fire me. It wasn't a secret. The whole club knew. And if that wasn't good enough, you know the Commodore's jacket he was given today? It was kept in my office until this morning.
Any idea who might have put that snake in the jacket?
No, but you've got to see it's not going to look good for me when the police find out we didn't get along.
Honey, have you got any idea of who had access to your office between dawn and the time you got the jacket?
Binky Brabworth. He's the treasurer of the club, also publishes the club paper. He'd have a key to my office.
Anyone else?
I don't know. You know, this morning I came in early, and I thought I saw one of our club members leaving by the side door. But when I got inside, my office door was open, and I'm sure I locked it last night.
Well, which member?
I can't be certain, but I think it was Richard Bevac.
Dickie Bevac, the sleazo movie producer?
The membership committee of this club doesn't care where your money comes from, as long as you have plenty of it. Houston, what am I gonna do?
Well, I think you're gonna have to sit tight and answer all the questions that the police ask you, and we'll see what we can come up with, all right?
Thank you.
I can't tell you what a long time I've waited for that. I'll talk to you soon, huh?
Houston figured if we were going to help Honey, we better do some homework on some yacht club members. It ate up most of the rest of the day, and when we were through, we fed the results to Baby. Now, here we have the late and not too lamented Rawson Harmon IV. In fact, last week, he was elected Commodore of the club in a very close election.
One more. Thank you.
You, CJ, if the man was that ornery, why do you suppose the club members voted him in as Commodore?
Well, he's a very powerful man who uses his influence to get what he wants. Which brings us to the point that he was the one who flew Honey out here about 6 months ago.
Yeah, it bothers me, CJ. I mean, he went to all the trouble to bring her out here, and then why did he suddenly decide to fire her?
I'll remind you to ask her. Richard Dickey Bevac.
That's the man that Honey said she saw leaving the club this morning.
You got it. Very successful producer. Exploitation films, low budget, high profits, and responsible for such winners as Killer Babies, Gnaw, and Cannibals from Planet Zero.
No. Like in Gnaw?
No.
Oh, come on, CJ, you're pulling my leg.
No. In fact, Cannibals from Planet Zero wasn't bad.
CJ, you have a very dark side that I don't believe I've ever seen before.
True. I'm saving it up for you. Now, Richard Bevac has always wanted to be Commodore of the club, and every year when someone puts him up for election, Harmon blackballs him. Now that Harmon's been elected, Bevac's out in the cold again.
You suppose being passed over as Commodore would be a motive for murder?
Well, not for most minds, but this is a mind that's come up with such classics as Killer Babies and Gnaw and...
A big cannibal from Planet Zero with a zapping and...
You got it.
Yeah, who's next?
Carlton Binky Brabworth. His great-grandfather invented the thumbtack.
I always wondered who did that.
As you know, he also is responsible for publishing the Yacht Club newsletter.
Yeah, that's where you got all these pictures.
Your powers of deductive reasoning are brilliant, Houston.
DJ, we were talking about Mr. Brabworth.
Yes, we were. Now, he's not as rich as he would like you to believe. In fact, he gets his money from a trust fund that comes from municipal bonds, and he spends it faster than he can clip the coupons. He is also everyone's favorite gambler at any game.
You mean he loses?
Constantly. As a matter of fact, his biggest debt is Rawson Harmon.
Yeah, how big?
Texas big.
I think we better start with Mr. Brabworth.
Why him?
Well, I'll tell you something, CJ. It's because I've never met a man named Binky before.
Binky, I want you to meet the next Bo Derricks, Lucy and Tanya. They're going to be starring in my new picture, Savage Women Unleashed.
How nice.
You take the tiller, you hoist the mainsail.
Brabworth, I'm Matt Houston.
Oh, Mr. Houston, it's a pleasure. Yeah, Honey mentioned you might be around. Won't you sit down?
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry about all this litter. Municipal bonds. See, I have to clip off these coupons every 3 months and take them down to Chase Manhattan and cash them.
Well, it's a lousy job, but somebody's got to do it, huh?
And then there's all this preparation for the shipwreck party.
Well, listen, Mr. Brabworth.
Binky.
Binky.
I hope you'll excuse me, but I have to finish clipping these things. If I don't do it...
Yeah, I know, it just won't get done. No, you go right ahead. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about Rawson Harmon IV.
A boor. Took himself much too seriously.
Yeah, well, what exactly was your relationship with him?
Adversary. He voted against me in every board meeting.
Well, what about outside the boardroom?
Well, we really didn't have that much in common.
Played cards with him?
Yes.
Lost?
Sometimes.
Often?
I'm not a very good card player.
Yeah, well, you owed him quite a bit of money, didn't you?
Nothing I couldn't repay, Houston.
Yeah, well, maybe you just couldn't repay it as quick as he wanted you to, huh?
Mr. Houston, yes, I had a motive. Anyone who knew Harmon had a motive. He wasn't a very pleasant man. Houston, have you spoken with Jeb? A particularly interesting person. Jeb. He loves his mother a lot. Very protective of her. Obsessed, almost.
Well, I love my mother a lot, too.
Your mother isn't Honey Lewis.
Confirms the merger for the electronics firm. And here are the papers for the new clothing firm.
Right? Looks like we've got our first customer. Houston, what happened to you?
Somebody tried to set fire out at the yacht club.
What?
With a flare. CJ, you had to be there. Listen, I want you to get Honey on the phone for me right away.
I'll do better than that. She's right here.
I want to talk to you, Honey, about your son, Jeb.
Oh, Houston, I'm sorry. I didn't tell you about Jeb because I didn't want to involve him. He has nothing to do with this.
Honey, it seems to me like there's an awful lot that you're not telling me about, like the fact that Rawson Harmon was the one who brought you out here to California in the first place.
I didn't think it was important.
Honey, rumor has it that I'm the detective around here, so why don't you let me decide what's important and what's not, all right? Is that a deal?
Deal.
Good. Now let's talk about Jeb.
I was married, secretly, when I was in college back in Texas. When Jeb was born, his father disappeared. I never saw him again. And that's when I moved to New York.
Now, that brings us to Rawson Harmon, the dead man. Honey, what exactly was your relationship with him?
Oh, it isn't what you're thinking. Yes, we had an affair, but that was a long time ago. And we've remained good friends ever since.
Is that why you got the job at the yacht club?
Yes, when the job opened up, he called me. And he asked me if I would come out and help manage the club.
And just 6 months later, he decided to fire you. Now, what is going on?
Look, Houston, I take my job very seriously. Maybe he didn't count on that. He was used to running things. But the members started to turn to me. He could not stand not being the center of attention. He was jealous.
How'd you get along with your son?
Can't we leave Jeb out of this?
No, we cannot leave Jeb out of this. Now, somebody took a shot at me at the yacht club.
But, Houston, you don't think that... Listen, Jeb is a good son. He's a good boy.
Honey, is there any way? I mean, did he know Harmon was going to fire you?
Oh, yes. But... Look, Houston, maybe I was wrong about this. It was a mistake to get you involved.
Damn it, honey, I am involved in this. Now, somebody is trying to kill me, and I am not going to back off this case till I find out who it is.
You know, you always were stubborn as hell.
That's right, and you always were...
Sweet as honey.
Yeah. Yeah, you were. Hello there. You got a minute to talk to another oppressed member of the working class?
Yeah, sure. Come on aboard.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
Well, I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about Harmon.
That bourgeois pig?
Yeah, well, you'd mentioned that.
Working people everywhere can breathe a sigh of relief now that he's history.
You were working people like your mother?
My mother? What does she have to do with this?
Well, you knew Harmon was going to fire her, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. And it was so typical. I mean, she's the best, man. The best at everything. Before she took over as manager of the club, it was nothing but a capitalist garbage heap. And as soon as she got things running right, that pig wanted to dump her.
Well, I know how much the job meant to your mother, and I know you care an awful lot about her, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Wait a minute. You're not trying to say I off Tom. Forget it.
Got any idea who might have?
Harmon wasn't what you'd call Mr. Sunshine. A lot of folks hated that creep.
Who hated him the most?
No contest. Mr. Hollyweird himself, Dickie Bevac.
Yeah, because Harmon kept bumping Bevac for Commodore, huh?
Wake up, man. Capitalist power brokers only kill one another for one reason. Cold, hard cash. I heard the two of them arguing in the bar. Harmon was gonna call in all his loans to Bevac's movie company.
Yeah, and Bevac was none too happy about it, right?
Offered to make him the victim in his next slasher movie. Tell me something, man. I found out a little bit about you. Big Texas millionaire. How many millions of dollars have you wrung from the sweating backs of the working man?
Hopefully none. See, I try and treat everybody fairly.
How? By hoarding millions of dollars that really belong to the people?
No, you see, by treating them all like human beings. I don't prejudge them or pre-label them. You really ought to try it sometime.
Hey, Houston, are you hungry? I'm really hungry. Why don't you stay for lunch? I got some sardines here.
No, thanks. I'll take a rate check.
I got some beans, too. I could heat them up in the galley.
No, thanks. I better be running along.
Oh, come on, Houston. Why don't you stay for lunch?
No, das vidanya, comrade.
Hello there. Hi.
Hi. Sorry I dropped in on you like this.
Anytime.
Yeah, but I probably ought to be going.
Hi. What's your hurry? Yeah, why don't you stick around? Maybe you can rub some lotion on our backs. And fronts.
Fronts. I could probably do that, yeah. Yeah, listen, I gotta run.
almost getting killed tends to make Houston a mite irritable. He figured it was time to meet the producer, Richard Bevac. When we couldn't get an appointment, Houston decided we should make one for ourselves. The only thing I could find out about Bevac was that he was off making a movie somewhere on those 5 acres he calls his backyard.
I wonder what he's gonna call this. Onslaught of the Goons?
Yeah.
Can we help you? Your name, please?
This is Miss Pleasure Fox. She's gonna be in Mr. Bevac's next picture.
The Space Vixen.
That's right. My name's Guy Amarillo. I'm Miss Pleasure Fox's personal manager. We have an appointment with Dickie.
What's wrong, Andy?
Guy says he's Amarillo Slim or someone. Lady says she's Pleasure Fox in your next movie?
Pleasure Fox.
Yeah, this is a little foolish to go on with it. My name's Matt Houston. This is C.J. Parsons, my associate.
Mr. Houston, I've heard about you, but nobody told me about the lady. Let them in, Andy. I like creative gate crashers and beautiful women.
Thank you, Mr. Bevac.
You're Houston's associate?
Yes, I am.
You're really not an actress.
No, no.
All this beauty going to waste in some crummy detective agency.
It's not really crummy. It's kind of nice. Actually, it's well lit.
Well, we'll have to fix that.
Well, no, it's got a great view. You can see the whole town.
How about a screen test?
A screen test?
Excuse me, please. Before you make my associate a superstar here, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Is this all he does? Ask people questions?
Well, it is something he likes to do. Humor him.
Coffee?
I'd love some.
No, thank you.
I'm just fine.
Okay, Houston, for her. But make it short. I've got a meeting with my bankers.
Running a little low on cash, are we?
Not a chance. My last 10 pictures made a fortune. I've got development deals going all over town.
Oh, that's funny. That's not what I heard.
What did you hear?
Well, I heard that your last 10 pictures lost money. They didn't make money at all. And Ross and Harmon's your banker, and if he calls in his loans, you're gonna make him the next victim in your slasher movie.
That's a lie. I'm telling you, my financial standings are as solid as a rock.
Are they? Well, you see, because I've been asking a lot of questions in all the financial circles around town, you see, and the word is that you're up to your eyeballs in debt, and that there's not a major studio in town that'll let you on the lot, let alone do business with you.
You're a nosy man, Houston. You should know by now, being nosy can be very dangerous. The interview, if you haven't guessed, is over.
Man's got a temper.
Sure does. By the way, when did you have time to ask questions in all the right financial circles?
No, I didn't really have time, and I won't until I get a chance to call Murray, but I don't think we need to after seeing Mr. Bevac's reaction here. I know, fellas, it's time to go. Screen test, huh? Working late, ladies?
Houston, I need you, John Henry.
Well, I'll even give you my John Hancock. I'm in a great mood. Got good news.
That's good, because I've got bad.
Well, hopefully the two will balance each other out. Shoot, CJ.
Houston, I checked out those Texas files like you asked, and Honey lied to you. She was never married. But Jeb's birth certificate tells who the real father is. It's the dead man, Ross and Harmon IV.
Oh, God. CJ, if Jeb found out about that, or if he saw Harmon treating his mother the way he...
Or if Jeb didn't know, and Honey was afraid that Harmon was going to tell him.
Two good motives for murder.
Well, what was the good news?
The good news is that our suspicions were right. Bevac is on the brink of bankruptcy.
Well, that's 3 motives, not to mention your poker-playing, coupon-clipping binky. That's 4 motives.
Just when I thought it was getting simple, CJ. Houston. Honey, just stay there, all right? I'll be there in 20 minutes. Honey just got another threatening letter.
First of the guilty has already died in a most unpleasant way, but Harmon was lucky compared to the victim who will go on shipwreck day.
The shipwreck party's tomorrow. Houston, whoever's writing these notes and killing people has to be insane.
And maybe that's just what he or she wants us to believe. I mean, come on, think about it. These death threats, they sound like they're from one of those cheap mystery thrillers, you know, the kind you used to read.
Are you accusing me?
It's just a thought, honey. I'm thinking out loud. And I know you're gonna love my next thought.
Houston, you don't think that Jeb...
What am I supposed to think? He's the only one I know who could kill at random. I mean, the boy's got a chip on his shoulder. He's always going around singing the oppressed bourgeois pigs and all of that.
Houston, Jeb had nothing to do with this murder. You've got to believe me. He's my son. I know.
Jesse James had a mother, too.
Houston, I'm warning you. Leave Jeb out of this. As a matter of fact, you can drop the whole case. You're fired, Houston. And you can leave now.
I'm not going anywhere, honey, till I find myself a killer.
Then follow me, because I got a court order to search the killer's locker. This one, Cal. When you open this locker, we'll find our killer.
Must be a pretty small fella, Vance.
Houston, don't be funny. That's Jeb's locker.
We found a partial fingerprint on a button inside the Commodore's coat that Harmon put on. You want to bet that's the typewriter that typed the death threat?
Well, anyone could have planted it there. It doesn't mean anything.
I killed him, and I'm proud of it. I'd kill him again. Nothing but a leech, sucking the lifeblood out of society.
Houston, Jeb didn't kill anybody. I killed Harmon.
Don't listen to her. I killed him, Houston.
Listen to me. I killed him.
You know, most of the time I have enough trouble finding one killer.
Yeah, now you got two, Vance.
Well, obviously, they both confessed to protect the other.
Come on, the kid is the killer. The stuff we found in his locker, the fingerprints, his radical political views, it all points to him. You have doubts?
I have doubts, Vance. I mean, it does not make sense. Think about it. I mean, it's not clean. It stinks, Vance, and it's not Mama's cooking.
Come, what's this about my cooking?
No, Mama. Houston was just saying how hungry he is.
Ah, good, because dinner is ready.
Boy, I can't wait.
This is for you, CJ.
Oh, thank you,
Questo
Smells
è
good.
per voi.
Oh, that...
Ecco.
Mama, this looks like birdseed.
It is birdseed. What do you expect? The two of you come in here, you order a big meal, and then you talk about crime, murder, mayday. Ma fatemi piacere.
Mama, it's mayhem, Mama. Mayhem, murder and mayhem.
It sure is. It's gab. You never eat. You just peck at your plates like birds. So the two of you want to eat like birds? Avanti. This is your chance.
Mama, please, this is embarrassing. Could you please bring us some pasta?
If I do, will you eat the whole thing? You swear on the saints?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cross my heart.
CJ, Sentito, you're a witness, huh?
I swear, Mom.
Okay, figlio mio. I'll prepare you a dinner. Lasciate fare a me.
Well, anyhow, now that Jeb and Honey are in jail, we don't have to worry about the murder threat tomorrow, huh?
No, Vince, you're still not listening to me. I mean, it does not make sense. It's still too neat. I mean, I would swear on a stack of Bibles that I swear.
Houston, what is it?
Oh, wait a minute. Now, Mama said to Vince that she wanted him to swear on the saints, right? Vince, do you remember the first part of the first death threat?
Guilty, 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 the avenging angel
That's
sang.
it. You don't have to go any further. Now, if I am not mistaken, angel is the key word to this whole thing. Now, you still think it points in Jeb's direction, right?
Right.
I think we can safely assume that Honey would not frame her son for murder, right?
Sure. What's your point?
The point, Vince, is that Jeb could not be the killer. I mean, he fancies himself as one of those dyed-in-the-wool communists. Now, I will tell you something about communists. They feel very strongly about things that they believe in and things that they don't. What they don't believe in is God, saints.
Angels.
In other words, he would have never used that word.
In other words, the man we have in jail is not the killer, and if we don't find him...
He's gonna kill again tomorrow.
Talent, Freddie. We're in show business, too. Meet the next Bo Derricks, Ty and Tanika. They're going to be starring in my new picture, Savage Women Unleashed. This is Sam Spade. How's it going, Gumshoe?
Well, just dandy.
This party is by invitation only, and I hope you don't have one because I'd love to kick you out of here, too.
Temper, Dickie. I do have an invitation. Binky's holding on to it for me. You haven't seen him around anywhere, would you?
Yeah, I saw him just a moment ago. He's in the trophy room. It's at the end of the hall.
Hey, sir. Ladies.
Well, if I had another girl, I could be a juggler, too.
Houston, you know, if you were a club member, we would fine you for showing up at a theme party without a costume.
Why'd you kill Harmon, Binky? Because of the money you owed him?
Oh, don't be tedious, Houston. It's true I had a cash flow problem, but well, that's nothing one with proper breeding kills over.
Well, I'll tell you, I went to the Central Library, Binky. I got a microfilm of all your old newspapers. Yeah, all those old newspapers you used to handwrite and send out by the thousands to your mailing list. Yeah, it was something else. You had to go back several years. I spent a couple of hours in front of my computer before I found it.
Found what?
That the type matched. It matched your old newspapers. It matched the death threat notes. It matched the typewriter that you planted in Jeb's locker.
He was going to ruin me. First, he cheated me at cards. And then when I couldn't pay, he was going to have his bullies work me over.
Don't you put that away. I called Novelli and his boys. They're going to be here any minute. Don't do anything foolish, all right?
Foolish? There's nothing foolish about killing someone. I've had to do it once already to save my skin. And now, I am sorry, old fellow. I really sort of liked you. Let's go.
Not now.
Hi, Binky! It's party time!
Hi, Gordy. Yeah, it's going to be a great one. Oh, I love yours, too. Drinks? Hi, Drinks. Hi, Fuzzy. Hi. Zooey.
Hey, Binky, don't forget to take our picture.
Going out to get my camera right now.
Oh, you having a good time?
Excuse me, Cordy. Excuse me, please. Trixie, Tootie, Buzzy, Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail.
I beg your pardon.
Get back!
Hey, Houston, are you all right?
Next time you rescue me, Vance, just don't sway so much, would you?
Mama, it's perfect.
I'm sure it's perfect. I did it.
Oh, thanks.
Why?
For doing it.
I know that. Why did I do it?
It's a surprise.
For who?
For Houston, he's in love.
He's in love with you? Brava!
Oh, no, Mama. He's in love with another girl. See, at 13.
13? She's 13. He should be ashamed of himself.
No, Mama. She's not 13. He was 13.
He's 13. And she made love to him? She should be ashamed of herself, robbing the cradle.
No, Mama, she didn't make love to him. When he was 13, he fell in love with her, but she wasn't in love with him. You see, but he always wanted to go out with her, so I thought I would surprise him by fulfilling his fantasy about her.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Well, Mama, CJ, what's going on?
So, when are you getting married?
Married?
He's not getting married, Mama.
I'm not?
No.
See? How are you going to have kids if you don't get married?
Why? How am I going to do that?
I don't know.
You have a little girl. Will you name her after me?
Well, Mama's an odd name for a little child.
No, Mama. Rosa. It's such a cute name for a baby. Rosa Houston.
But it doesn't sound right.
No.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you should change your last name.
Yeah, what's going on?
Never mind. Don't ask questions. Just trust me. I had a little brainstorm about
Thank
something.
Houston,
Oh, honey, what are you doing here?
having dinner with you.
I am?
You're not.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't have a chance.
You don't want to have dinner with me.
Wait, no. I mean, yes, I do. It's just I don't understand.
I don't either, Matt Houston. You see, CJ told me that you wanted to fulfill a fantasy.
You did that?
Yeah. No, I wanted to fulfill your fantasy.
Oh, you want to fulfill his fantasy.
Not I, me. Me through you.
Ah, the lucky lady. So, when is the wedding?
better cock your pistols.
Must be an extra special VIP list for Houston to throw a party at such short notice.
His invitation list looks like a who's who of international dollars. Oh, here comes someone now. Ah, how very nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. I'm Murray Chase, Mr. Houston's vice president in charge of various things. And you're... Please, don't tell me. Mr. Houston sent me a telegram with all of your names on it. Oh, what did I do with that telegram? General, I think?
Malcolm Abercrombie, and this is my wife, Celeste.
Lady Celeste. I'm Murray Chase.
Yes, so you said.
Derwin Dunlop.
Yes.
Honorary title only. I prefer being called Mo. It's short for my given name, Mohandas. I would introduce the lovely lady, but I'm afraid all we have in common is one short elevator ride.
I'm Clover McKenna.
Certainly are. Wow. Jet set everything. Pilot, skydiver, Grand Prix champion. You even had an article in People magazine last week.
Well, I guess that high-priced PR man of mine's been doing his job.
Well, if you will follow me, I would be glad to introduce you to the rest of our guests. No, thank you. Of course. And you all know Derwin Dunlop? And of course, Clover McKenna.
By reputation only. Is that a compliment or an insult, Lady Celeste? Make of it what you will. Had I known that you were going to be here.
That will be Mr. Houston. about time you got here.
What? Did the party start without me?
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it a party, but your guests are here.
My guess. Murray, I did. Murray, what the hell's going on here?
The business meeting you told me to set up.
What business meeting, Murray? The telegram you sent me told me to be here to meet the vice president.
Vice president? Houston, I don't know what you're talking about. This is your party.
Murray, read my lips. I did not set up any party.
Then why did you send me a telegram this morning telling me to meet and greet these guests of yours?
You got a telegram, too?
Yeah, it's inside. I don't understand.
I don't either. But I think we better go inside and take a look at that telegram. Well, Clover, what a surprise. Would you look at you?
Oh, Houston. It's been a long time.
Well, it has been a long time, yes. Well, I've got a problem, Clover. I'd say I'm just wondering why you and all these other people are here.
Oh, you're kidding. Well, you invited us.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Listen, why don't we go meet some people, all right? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Matt Houston.
Derwin Dunlop.
Derwin Dunlop. It's a pleasure, sir. And you're Raja Franchu. Nice to meet you. And
Malcolm Abercrombie. My wife, Celeste.
It's quite a pleasure.
Houston, here's the telegram.
Well, according to this, folks, I did invite you all here, but there's just one small problem. See, I didn't send this telegram.
Well, here's the telegram you sent me.
Sunday, 6 p.m., an invitation to a formal dinner to form a multi-million-dollar business combine. It's guaranteed to triple its investment in 6 weeks. And it's signed Matt Houston.
A duplicate of the cablegram I received.
And I.
Well, it is obvious that we have all been duped.
Is someone playing a joke?
If they are, I may know the reason why. But you're not going to like it.
Well, give it your best shot, Maharaja.
Aside from your two business associates, Miss C.J. Parsons and Mr. Murray Chase, we all do have something in common. We...
You all right?
Oh!
C.J., call the paramedics, pronto. Get him over to the couch, all right?
Okay.
Houston, all the phones are out of order.
CJ, try the chopper radio. Now, let's get in here. Let's put some pressure on this, would you?
You got it.
Buddy, stay put. CJ, are you all right?
I'll let you know when my heart starts pumping again.
Yeah, what happened?
I reached for the door and something just blew.
It's a nifty little gadget. That's what made it blow. Now, whoever planted that certainly knew what he was doing.
Houston, the elevator doors won't open.
Well, Murray, you got to use the emergency stairs. Walk down.
I tried. The emergency exit's been sealed off from the outside. That door won't budge.
Murray, are you saying that we are stuck in this skyscraper with no way out?
No, that's what I'm trying not to say. But you said it for me.
Houston, this whole thing is getting very spooky. Do you agree?
Yes, I do. Well, you can forget about the radio.
Will the chopper fly?
Not even if Superman strapped it on his back. I'll tell you, we've got no phone, no radio, no helicopter. We got no elevator and no stairs. What we've got is a bomb and a poison dart. It's just not my idea of a fun party.
Father, this is for you. Hey, Paul, Lamar, pull up some pizza and have some
Lamar.
And I'm Bo. Well, whatever. Oh, Wolverine, what happened?
One of these days, he's gonna learn to stay on his horse.
Oh. Come on in and celebrate my Tony's first reunion. Gino, what's that fine Chianti for Mr. Bo and Mr. Lamar? By the way, where's Houston, CJ?
Houston, CJ gonna be a mite late, Mom.
Oh.
Yeah, they had to stop by the office for another shindig first. But don't worry, they wouldn't miss this. No, sirree, they wouldn't miss this over their dead bodies.
The important thing is to make sure that all those folks out there do not panic. And we got to jump on this thing, Murray. I want you to entertain them and just make sure everybody stays calm. CJ, you've got to find a way to communicate with the outside world.
Well, I've already got Derwin out on the patio trying to attract attention, but Houston, we're on the top floor of a skyscraper and nobody particularly cares.
It's gonna be dark soon. Why don't you use a flashlight to send SOSs? Maybe we'll get lucky, find someone on the ground who reads Morse code.
That's a good idea, Murray.
Maharaj is dead.
It'll be all right.
Don't you touch me. Ever.
Charming. Any luck?
I dispatched 2 squadrons of those planes, each with its own SOS message. I managed to attract absolutely nobody.
Well, that's par for the course because there's not much foot traffic in this part of town on Sunday evenings.
Good. That means people won't get wet. There's a storm blowing in.
Phones are working.
Listen, don't talk, just listen to me. My name's Matt Houston. We're stuck on the 4th.
Houston. That's the funeral march.
Yeah, I know, Murray. Someone's got a very lousy sense of humor.
I wonder if he had a family.
I couldn't tell you, Murray. I never met the man before today.
Houston, how can you remain so calm with everything that's going on?
Murray, would it help you any if I just up and panic?
Well, no, but...
Yeah, Murray, listen, now, if it'll make you feel any better, I do have an ace in the hole.
We do?
Mm-hmm. Vince Novelli. You see, CJ and I were supposed to show up at Little Tony's first communion party. Now, when we don't show up there...
Novelli will come after us.
That's right. Now, first, I think he's going to phone. And when that doesn't work, he'll phone again and again.
And he knows we've got 26 separate lines coming in here, 2 backup generators. When he can't get through, he's going to know something's wrong.
Like I said, Murray, ace in the hole.
How about a drink, your ladyship? I'm buying. Well, here's to marriage. A female plot to add to man's responsibilities and subtract from his rights.
What would you know about marriage? You have never had the decency to marry any of your lovers.
Maybe I've got too much decency to marry them.
Well, it looks like you're hard at work here. Did you find anything out?
Yes. Your piano has been rigged to play by remote control.
Remote control? Is that a sort of channel selector thing like people have on their television?
Basically, yes, but far more sophisticated.
Yeah, well, listen, whoever our mystery man or woman is, they've got a series of buttons that can, control the elevator, the piano, the phones. It can even blow up a mini-bomb and fire a deadly death dart. And I'm just concerned about what they've got up their sleeve next.
You had to ask?
What's going on? You're supposed to be sending an SOS, not responding to one.
CJ, have we got any more candles around here anyplace?
Downstairs in the gym. I'll go get them.
Well, good. Murray, you stick close to her. I mean really close.
You bet, boss.
Thanks, Houston.
You're absolutely positive, operator? Uh-huh. You all right? Yeah, I just wanted to... Thank you. Bye.
Hey, Houston's phone's still out of order.
Relax, Bill. Go back to your table. Sit down. Eat. Drink. Later, we'll open up Tony's present.
That's good stuff. Wonder what they call it.
Wine.
Hey, CJ.
Got enough light for you, Houston?
Yeah, I believe it is for what I had in mind.
What exactly is that?
Well, I'll tell you, I thought we'd all play a little game called Show and Tell. Now, what I'd like everybody to do is place the contents of what you're carrying right here on the bar.
That is ridiculous. That's an invasion of privacy.
Well, yes, ma'am, you're right. I could not agree with you more, but I'll tell you something. The Maharaja's privacy was invaded something awful, and I fully intend to do something about it.
Well, I'll submit to a body search if you do it personally, Houston.
This is some other time, Clover.
Houston, what is the point of all this?
Well, I'll tell you, Brigadier, have you ever read the phrase in the good book, seek and ye shall find? Well, I'm planning on doing a little seeking and a little finding.
Find what?
Well, hopefully, like a dart gun or a remote control device, anything that the killer might be planning on using on his or her next victim.
Another killing?
That's right, Murray. There's a strong possibility that there could be several more. Because I really don't believe that whoever's responsible for sending him to that big Taj Mahal in the sky went to all that trouble for just one victim. No, I don't. So shall we get started here? Ladies first, hmm? Lady Celeste. Letters are personal. You can hang on to that if you wish.
Thank you.
Well, there's nothing here. Okay, gentlemen. Well, there is no remote control device or no dart gun, so I think it's about time we switch games. Let's say 20 questions. And the first question, ladies and gentlemen, is which one of us killed the Maharaja?
One of us.
Come off it, Clover. I mean, there is a man dead here, and I do not see any other suspects floating around. Now, let's just take it from the beginning, all right? Now, we do have the dart that killed the Maharaja.
May I see that?
Certainly.
This dart is used by Central African natives. I've seen these hellish things when I was there. They're tipped with a deadly, fast-acting poison.
Yes, well, so we've seen. But I tell you, the question is, has anybody else here been to Africa recently?
Just because I've been to Africa doesn't mean I killed him.
Well, I don't recollect anybody saying that you did, Brigadier. Now, there is one other thing that's been sticking in my craw. Yeah, you see, whoever's controlling all these electronic gadgets and gizmos has to be some kind of electronic wizard. I mean, to get in here on Friday after hours and rig the entire place, now that's something.
You mean someone who builds computers? Someone like me?
You're the one who said it.
Well, I'm also saying that I had no reason to kill that man. I never met him before today, and I had no motive.
Well, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
Of course you didn't have a motive. I
Totally
told you
ridiculous.
before.
Oh, come on, Houston. That's enough of this game.
Oh, now hold on, folks. Just hold it a minute, all right? Please. Derwin, you being an electronic crackerjack of sorts, would you mind seeing if you can breathe some life back in that chopper radio for me? Hmm?
I can try.
Thank you, sir. Now, friends, we've got ourselves a couple of problems here. One being that none of us here have a motive to kill the Maharaja. Two being that nobody seems to have met the man before today, or at least that's what I've been told.
You were told wrong. My husband, he'd met the Maharaja.
Yes, it was many years ago, in India. I was on a goodwill mission to Rajipur. He must have been all of 10 years old. I'd never have known him after all these years if we hadn't been introduced again today.
Well, let's strike two, Brigadier. Because he said something just before he died. He said, all of us in this room have something in common except for CJ and Murray. Now, does anybody here have an idea of what that common denominator might be?
Hey, Houston, I think I got something.
Everybody stay put, all right? Mayday, Mayday, come in. Can anybody hear me?
Mr. Houston was asking about common denominators. Frankly, Clover, I cannot think of anything more common than you. I know you. Mr. Houston knows you. My husband certainly knows you.
Steady on her, girl.
I have had about enough of your holier-than-thou attitude. No common thread exists. Derwin was a total stranger to me before today, so you can kiss your theory goodbye, Lady Celeste.
I'd rather you kissed my husband goodbye, you adulterous tramp!
Mayday, Mayday, can anybody read me? Come in, please.
It's a waste of time, Houston. What I got must have been that radio's death.
Houston, I think the natives are getting restless.
What is going on in there? What is that? Couldn't you do anything about this?
And dear boy, I'm rather enjoying it.
Ladies, come on now, ladies.
Enough. You're supposed to be a lady.
Let me go! You're supposed to be a gentleman, not an adolescent schoolboy dressing after a promiscuous chippy. Please, please, let me go! I want to get out of here!
There'll be a hot time in the old town tonight.
Somehow I don't feel like dancing. Lady Celeste's purse. Houston, What's the rule on reading other people's mail?
Well, I'd say if it happens to belong to a corpse and the contents of the said letter might save a few lives, my rule is go for it, CJ.
What a ghastly way to go.
I wanted us to be free of her. But not like this. Still, there is all that money.
Well, what'd you find out?
Well, if we were planning a stroll on the patio, our killer just canceled it.
Yeah, well, that's what I gathered after what happened to Lady Celeste.
How does that thing work?
It's an electronic force field. Electric eyes on either side of the door. Break that beam by walking through the field and, well, you saw what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, let's try something. Now, there's no way to deactivate this thing, huh?
If there is, I haven't found it.
Yeah, well, just out of curiosity. Murray, it's a wooden handle.
Great. Now we're really trapped. We can't even get out on the patio to send an SOS.
Well, tell me something, Dr. Wizard. We've all been walking through these doors since we arrived. Why wasn't somebody electrocuted then?
Because the killer didn't want them to die, yet. I figure we'll each be murdered in a different and very bizarre way.
Well, that's a cheery thought. If the killer's as smart as I think he is, he's got every possible exit wired in this office.
Excuse me. Houston, I just read Lady Celeste's letter. I suggest you do the same thing. Now that killer's messing around with my baby. Revenge to Houston 0. So far, you've been shut out.
Yeah, and I didn't even want to play.
The guilty 6 must die, including you, Houston. Wonderful.
Yeah, how come I get special billing?
What is this?
CJ, I do believe Mr. Revenge is having some fun with us. He's spoon-feeding us clues.
Monte Carlo, 5 years ago.
Must be Rajapur.
That's the late Maharaja. He's viewing India's Republic Day parade. Who will die next? I wonder if that's a multiple choice question.
Okay, that's it. I'm taking control of baby right now. Touch one more key and you die. Oh, really?
CJ.
Watch this.
CJ, hold it. Come here. Just hold your horses.
Thanks, Houston. That could have hurt.
Mm-hmm.
When's Dr. Houston going to get here?
I don't know, son. I just called his office and the phone is still out of order.
Tesoro, vieni. Come on and dance with Grandma. I want to see you shake, rattle, and roll. Vieni,
Any word from Houston? No, I'm going to send a patrol car around and check his building out.
Patrol car? You figure something's happened to him?
No, all I know is he's got 26 phone lines, 2 backup generators, and I still can't get in touch with him. If he's in that building, it doesn't make any sense.
You need some help?
Oh, I think I got it here. You know, it looks to me like this was electronically aimed and fired.
At me.
Well, not at you specifically, CJ, but where you were sitting. Oh, would you look at this? I wonder what the killer had in mind for this sword.
Not a sword. It's a saber. There's a difference.
Well, excuse me, Brigadier. Don't get your crumpets all bent out of shape. It's just that, well, down home, we'd call this a Texas-sized frog sticker. It is some handsome handiwork, I must admit. You know, I saw one just like this when I was in England. Judging by the royal crest, I'd say it was from a king or a queen. Tell me something. Would you mind telling me your full name, Brigadier?
What on earth for?
Well, just for whatever it's worth, I guess.
Malcolm James Abercrombie.
Well, I'll be. It's got your initials on it.
May I see that?
Certainly.
It's mine. How on earth it got here, I have no idea. Her Majesty presented it to me 5 years ago.
Another coincidence, Brigadier. Now, have you ever seen that gun before?
It's a sterling. And in answer to your next question, it's made in Britain.
Hold it, Houston. An unused saber and a British gun does not make Malcolm guilty.
It's a good point, Clover, but I tell you something, all these coincidences do have a tendency to add up.
Like neglecting to mention the fact that you had previously met the Maharaja?
Or like the affair you've been having with Clover, which your wife objected to rather strenuously.
Your late wife.
You people seem to have formed some sort of conspiracy to find me guilty of things I'm not guilty of. Why should I kill Celeste? I could have divorced her. It would have settled everything.
Now, I'll tell you something. This is a letter from Lady Celeste to her attorney. Now, it looks as though she was about to tie a can to your tail. She was going to divorce you.
Leave you without a shilling.
That's right. And so you figured the best thing to do was to kill her because you were the only heir.
Rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
Is it rubbish? Now, that fight that she got into earlier, now, you came into the room and all she wanted to do was exit, and you stopped her.
She was trying to get away. The poor thing could never face a confrontation. She always fled the room when one occurred.
That's right, but you stopped her. And I tell you, it looked an awful lot like you just pointed her at that patio door where she was electrocuted.
I did nothing of the kind. What do you people want of me?
Well, I'll tell you something. For the morale of everybody in this room, a full confession would be dandy.
That you will never have. No, I'm warning you. Houston, I don't want to have to use this.
Why don't you just put it down, Brigadier? I mean, you're not the type to be running around poking holes in people. Besides, it's very uncivilized.
Not to mention messy.
Why don't you just put the frog sticker down, Brigadier? And you and I'll have a little chat. Yourself a seat. That's more like it.
Still in the dark, Houston? Here's a clue or two.
Well, you just keep them coming, Mr. Revenge, because one of these days you're going to slip up and give me one clue too many.
Where did that film come from?
Well, I'm not sure, but maybe you could explain a little bit about it, Derwin.
There's nothing much to tell. It was about 5 years ago. I had just invented the Exodus home computer. And the California chapter of the American Electronics Association had given me a special award. They named me Man of the Year.
Yeah, well, Derwin, you being the electronical whiz kid that you are, maybe you could see if you can get control of Baby back to us, huh?
I'll give it a try. It'll take some time, though.
Taps.
Yeah, but for whom? The Brigadier or the rest of us?
3 down and 3 to go, Murray.
Houston, something has got to be done.
Murray, I'm working on it.
How you doing, Derwin? Well, it's not easy, Houston, but I'm getting there.
Murray, what is going on? Houston, letting that person work on Baby is a monumental mistake. You said it yourself. Practically everything in this office has been electronically rigged. And Derwin's...
I know, is an electronic genius.
Houston, he's got to be the killer.
Well, Murray, maybe he is and maybe he's not, but I tell you what keeps sticking in my mind is, now, a couple of years back, I had a layover at this airport, so I picked myself up one of those murder mysteries, you know? Well, it was all about a group of folks that were trapped in this house, and they were being picked off one by one.
That's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, I know, but see, I tell you, the way it ended, it turns out that the first victim really wasn't dead at all. See, he staged his death. And it was him that was picking off the people all along.
Houston, are you thinking...
Uh-huh. Let's go look for the Maharaja.
Houston, they're all gone.
Okay, Bambino. Looks like it's gonna rain. I think we better go home like everybody else.
But Uncle Houston promised he'd be here, and he will never break a promise.
Yeah, I know. It's part of the cowboy code. But something must have come up.
Grazie per tutto, eh? Oh, Carl.
I am.
Okay, hop along. We'll give it a little while longer.
You think
Lieutenant, I checked out the Houston building like you said. All secure.
Front and back.
Every. Tight as a drum.
Are you sure?
Well, there was something funny.
Yeah, what?
It's sort of hard to explain.
Come on, Carl. Talk to me.
Well, when I walked around into the alley behind Houston's building, there was this... Lieutenant, you're gonna think I'm bonkers.
Come on, out with it now.
Well, there was this old wino sitting there all by himself.
Yeah.
And he was wearing an old, worn-out sports coat. Gray tweed. A dead ringer for the one I owned when I graduated high school.
That's it?
Told you it sounded bonkers.
Yeah, you did say that, Carl. Okay, look, if the gray sports coat shows up again, do me a favor. Don't call me. I'll call you.
Oh, Carl, are you hungry?
On a diet, Mama. I'll take a rain check.
Well, that should do it. I did a bypass operation on her. You should have control now.
I told everybody you were a genius, Derwin. I knew you could do it.
Yeah, listen, CJ, would you put up that Indian parade stuff with the Maharaja in it?
Okay.
Since he was murdered first, let's stick with him.
What do you expect to find, Houston?
Well, hopefully a little proof that I really did read all those chapters in the book.
And the Maharaja faked his death.
Oh, Houston, you took his pulse. He had to be dead.
Either that or he found a way to make us believe he was dead.
How?
I'll tell you, Murray, there's several different ways you can do it. Now, there's some drugs. They're not your average, everyday, over-the-counter drugs, but there's a few of them that will suppress the vital signs temporarily. Now, hold it, CJ, would you blow that up a little bit? Now, before tonight, I never set eyes on that man. Now, I've done business with him in the past, but always long distance. Yeah, CJ, see if you can blow it up just a little bit more.
Sure.
Okay, now freeze that. Okay, folks, meet the real Maharaja of Ranjapur.
So our guest was a phony Maharaja.
That's what I'm betting on, CJ. Listen, would you put up the Monte Carlo shot of Clover? Now, when was this taken?
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Now, why does that phrase keep popping up? 5 years ago.
I wonder if that's the common denominator that we've been looking for.
Eastern, I think you've got something. I mean, 5 years ago, the Brigadier was presented his saber. 5 years ago, Derwin won the Man of the Year award. And 5 years ago, Clover won the Monte Carlo race.
But Clover, at that point in time, besides winning the race, was there anything that happened in your life, anything unusual or different?
Nothing I can think of. I won the race, and I flew back to the States a day or two after that. Oh, there was that party given in my honor.
But wait, what party? I mean, who gave the party for you?
Oh, this American I met in Monte Carlo, I would rather forget.
Well, has he got a name?
Brogan.
T. Dempster Brogan?
That's the one. Do you know him?
And then some.
Now, I know a Brogan, too. Derwin, do you know a Brogan $5 million worth? Ladies and gentlemen, all the pieces are finally beginning to fit together. You know, we're all our own common denominator here. Derwin, me, Clover, and the late Abercrombies. You see, just 5 years ago, Brogan set up a so-called non-profit organization and built a dam in Ranjapur. We all collectively gave him $20 million to do it, supposedly to help the starving natives.
And Brogan went south with 20 mil.
Yeah, but then he was arrested in India. On our deposition, he was tried, convicted, and sent to an Indian prison. And I tell you, judging from what happened tonight, I'd say that he escaped or he was released, one of the two.
Houston, are you saying...
Well, Mr. Revenge Brogan, guess who? I know you're in here. And I'll bet you $1 you've been using my elevator to come and go as you please, and I'll bet you're in there right now. I know you got your heart set on killing me and Clover and Derwin. I'll tell you something, it'd be a very big financial mistake, because if you kill me, I can't write you a big, fat, blank check. No, and I know you got very expensive habits. So what do you say, Maharaja? Why don't you come on out of there and we'll all hunker down over the checkbook here and get this thing squared away, huh? My congratulations on your makeup expertise, Maharaja Brogan.
It's the actor in me, Houston. I always wanted to be one.
I guess killing is a little more profitable, is that it?
Okay. Everyone but Houston. Into the elevator. Our friends stay locked in while you and I hunker down over your checkbook.
Now, how do I know that you're not just going to kill us all when I hand over the check to you?
You don't.
Thing hasn't been fired since my great-granddaddy used it in his last turkey shoot.
Hey, buddy.
Uncle Houston, you promised you'd come. I knew you'd keep your promise no matter how long it took.
Well, partner, what are you still doing here, hmm?
Houston! Oh, guarda, guarda, guarda. The princess and the pauper. What kind of crazy party you been to?
Yeah, Houston, what happened? You look like somebody used your face for a soccer ball.
Well, it's really not that bad. See, Vince, we went to a terrific party. I mean, all kinds of nifty people.
Real nifty people. Maharajas, the English aristocracy, a brigadier.
Yeah, that's right. And you know how those things are. I mean, we just kind of got trapped.
Good point, Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Houston! I'm so glad I finally got you. I've got good news. The coroner found the other two in the stairwell. And I've got better news. The bomb damage to the chopper, the machine gun holes in the furniture, the broken picture window, and the bloodstains in the carpet, all covered by insurance. $50 deductible.
Houston, what's he talking about?
I have no idea.
It's a $100 deductible.